Come on, honey, let's go turn your lights on. That was a long time ago for me, but I want to remind you, I was the president of the Gay Political Caucus. I was a public spokesperson for the GLBT community. I was co-chair of the State Democratic Organization. I was very visible, I was very public. But it's one thing to be visible in public on TV or in a group like this, which in an odd way can be somewhat anonymous or detached. But one-on-one, it was just easier just to get it over with. But since then, when I have been tempted to do that, I remind myself of that incident, and that there is a basic decency in most human beings. There is a common experience that we as Americans can tap into. There is some point of connection, always, to people that we don't believe we could ever be connected to. And it is incumbent upon us to be open about who we are, but to strive to find that point of connection. I'm a former jock. I don't do anything to exercise anymore. I'm a former jock, and actually played softball for my alma mater. But one of the things that I learned on the sports field is that there's a certain element that causes one team to win and the other team to lose. Now, a team has to have a good game plan. A team has to have adequate skills to perform that game plan. You have to execute the game plan. And if both teams have a good game plan, they have the skills, they are executing well, what makes the difference as to which team wins and which team loses is the will to win, the team that feels like a champion, the team that knows they can win. I believe that the right has been winning so many of these battles that we've been fighting because they believe in the essential rightness of their cause. And too many of us in our movement still bear the scars of the world in which we grew up, still bear the scars of the kind of pressure and pain that has caused so many of our young people recently to kill themselves. Too many of us don't, in our core, in our heart of hearts, believe that we are worthy. We must believe we can win, and we must believe that we deserve to win. And then we must win our own hearts and minds before we can win the hearts and minds of others. And we have no other choice but to do that. I understand that this state will be facing a marriage battle in the next legislature. A lot of people shaking your heads, yes. We already lost it in Texas. But as you gird for that battle, I want you to think about some things. Our fight for marriage, it's not about family values. It is about the value of our families. It's not about religion, it is about the difference between what is sacred and what is legal. It's not about faith, it is about the difference between what is the purview of the church and what is the responsibility of government. As you fight for marriage, it is about the right of each of us as citizens to seek full civil equality in this freest, greatest country in the world. I am no one's second-class citizen, and neither is anyone in this room. We have lost elections, but truly, we have not lost ground. We have to take the organizations we have and sustain them. We have to take the coalitions we have linked and nurture them. We can take the momentum that we have and we can build it and write it. The tide of history is on our side. And I want you to think back to how the world has changed. I'm 54 years old, and I've been out since I was 15. How the world has changed. I have helped change and shape the world. You have helped change and shape the world. We're not done yet. We have more at stake than they do. If only we can feel it, if only we can connect to it. We're going to win because we have to win. And I want to close with a proverb that I heard a long time ago. And it's about the bully and the sage. And I'm reminded of it, obviously, because of this national debate we're beginning to have on bullying. This is an African proverb, and it is about a wise man in a village who was thought to have the answer to everything and was sought out by the village. He was revered, he was loved, but every village has a bully. Every village has someone who hates blindly and foolishly. And the bully in this village, he was very, very jealous of the wise man, decided he wanted to embarrass the wise man publicly. And so he proposed a test. He came to the wise man when he was out in a public place in front of the assembled village. And he walked up to the wise man and he had his hands cupped like this. And he had something in his hands, and he asked the wise man, I want you to guess, you must guess, whether what is in my hands is alive or not. You have to guess right. Is it alive or is it not? Now what he had in his hands was a butterfly. And being a bully, and this being that kind of a test, he had ensured that the wise man was going to fail, whatever he guessed. Because if the wise man said, oh, well, it's alive, he would simply crush it and open his hands, and obviously it's not alive. And if the wise man said that, oh, well, no, it's not alive, he would open his hands and the butterfly would fly away. So there was no way that the wise man could win, and the wise man thought and thought for a very long time, and finally he looked at the bully and he said, I cannot say whether what you hold in your hands is alive or not. But I can say with truth that the answer is in your hands. The answer for our movement, ladies and gentlemen, is in your hands. Thank you very much for having me.